Before this episode of Formidable Opponents, we'd like to give a few shout outs. We'd like to first shout out 5x5 Brewing Company, an amazing craft brewery based in South Texas. 5x5 Brewing Company is providing South Texas with new and exciting beers, delicious craft beers made with pride. You know, every time I go back to visit the Rio Grande Valley, I go for 4 reasons: family, friends, food, and I go to unwind at 5x5. And not necessarily in that order. Excellent customer service, great atmosphere, always learning something new from their quality recommendations. The best part is that this is a veteran-owned brewery, so you know their team takes great pride in their product, the people, and the community that they serve. 5x5 Brewing Company, Battleborn, Texas-made. Formidable Opponents and 5x5 Brewing Company would like to remind you to always drink responsibly and never drink and drive. We also want to give a shout out to Dean at Creative Little Pill. We're very lucky to have new, funny, and creative cover art every episode thanks to her. You can see her artwork on our Instagram page at formidable_opponents, but don't stop there. Follow Creative Little Pill and check out all the cool stuff she's up to. Give her a follow, show her some support. And now on to our show. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 21 of Formidable Opponents, a show that pits 3 people who have known each other virtually their entire lives in a series of conversations as we argue what is the best, or in this case, the worst, in a variety of fun, engaging, and critical pop culture topics we all debate about. I'm Randall, and with me as always, Bob and Joseph, and today we are joined by our friends up north, Steffi and Lindy from Turn of the Millennials podcast, and today's topic is worst 90s music video. We're excited about it. I want to welcome our guests, Steffi and Lindy from Return of the Millennials. I said I wasn't going to do that.
Sing it, Bucker. Sing it.
Do it. Want the chorus.
Do it.
I will edit that out. I want to welcome our guests from Turn the Millennials podcast, Steffi and Lindy. Steffi and Lindy, welcome to our show. Welcome to the show. How are you guys doing?
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about your show, what you guys are about, how you guys got started, how y'all know each other.
Basically, you can tell Turn of the Millennials. So basically our podcast is about the turn of the millennium. We talk about all pop culture between 95, 2005, anything from music, pop culture references, movies, news,
major events that happened.
All of it.
That was our formidable years growing up. I don't know if that's the right word, formidable.
Coming of age, formidable years.
That's a good word.
Yeah,
we like that
our
word.
coming of age. Yeah. That's when we were best friends, and that was just when we spent all of our time together, like day and night. We were,
15, 16. Those are the greatest years
stories.
of your life, almost.
Yep. So we talk about everything from news events to music videos.
And we've known each other since I think we were 13, 14 years old.
Yeah,
So
we're
long
going
time
20 plus years.
Yep.
So what inspired you to start a podcast? Was it just the pandemic, or how'd you guys get started? Because that's how we got started, essentially.
I was listening to a lot at work. I was doing data entry and I just was getting bored of stuff. So I started listening to a lot of podcasts and I was like, I could just do this sometime. And there's only one person that can meet my pop culture ridiculous amount of information in my head, which was Lindy. So I was like,
useless information.
So I was like, do you want to do a podcast? And it was kind of, last year. Yeah. So late 2020.
Like October.
Yeah.
Like
kind of
when we started.
muddled it around.
Yeah.
We love your podcast. I could speak for Bob
Thank
and
you.
Joseph on this. We love listening to you guys. We're very happy and very excited to have you guys on our show today. And today we're talking about a topic that everybody's familiar with, 90s music videos. So we have a pastiche of music videos to choose from: glam rock, pop, hip hop that's reinvented, grunge, boy bands, R&B. And you can argue that the 80s brought a codified version of the music video generation. When we did our worst 80s music video show, we saw an explosion of too much is never enough. Everything was bold, chaotic, romantic, and persistently dialed up. The 90s brought in a balance. It altered the landscape. Videos can be unparalleled and equally understated. They can also be absurdly expensive, but feel like they were shot from your neighbor's camcorder. Lastly, videos took chances. It was a new era, new emotions, and new ground to cover. Sometime that ground was covered in yellow bricks. Other time it was enclosed in piss poor conception and execution. And that's what we are going to talk about today. So ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about 90s videos.
'90s videos, I think what was cool. Well, we're going to talk about what was bad actually. This really was at least to me, and I know we've mentioned it before, that's this generation that we grew up as far as music, what I got into, what I liked personally, and then helping me learn what was the influence to all this. There is so many good videos of the '90s that it was kind of like you mentioned, there was a different time, it was a different style of music. We were getting into obviously the grunge area. We talk about that all the time. It was a different feel in the music, and yes, where the '80s were when we did that podcast about the worst '80s, we looked at everything that was so over the top and so outlandish, and all these costumes and clothing choices and
cocaine.
These, that too. The '90s, it took on a different flow, and so there was a lot more. I think it was everything we see in the '90s videos are a little more chill, a little more relaxed, and then also at the same time a little bit darker, which is kind of cool. I dug that. But there are some really seriously worse things out there, worse, not very bad '90s videos that we're going to get into, and we're going to see a little bit of that what we saw in the '80s, but we're also just kind of murked around, I guess, and thrown together in the '90s. What do you think, Ram? Or anybody.
Actually, I'll share this and then we'll go. Bob, Joseph, you and I spent an evening at Bob's house. First time we hung out in a long time before the pandemic. And we were out at Bob's patio watching bad '90s videos. We went back to back on like Celine Dion, Natalie Imbruglia, NSYNC, and Lisa Loeb. Bob, your neighbors must have thought a bridal shower was going on or something. So Gen Xers like me and millennials like the rest of the panel, we love music videos. It brings us together, right? We can drink and watch them all night. We famously complain MTV stopped playing music videos.
And Much Music did as well.
Much Music as well.
And
so I'll go to you guys, Steffi and Lindy. Why do we romanticize music videos so much?
I know for us, we had the Much Music video dance parties, which was also kind of part of it. So you would watch them like at home, watch the countdown. They'd be on in the background. And then when you'd go to your school dances, they'd have the big giant screens. So it was almost like you'd watch the video with the song and it became part of like your little dance with the first boy you danced with or something silly like that. And it has a link to that memory of your past almost.
For me, it was, I don't know what it was. I loved watching music videos more than I liked watching TV shows. Like Agreed. I get home from school and I'd flip on channel 29, put on Much Music when they played music videos. Yeah, it would be on from the time I got home to the time I went to bed. I'd even fall asleep with it on. Even
commercial breaks, turn over to Much Music as well.
Yeah, or even like I don't know if it was a Much Music affiliate, but even CMT as well. I would flip over to that if there was nothing on Much More Music that I wanted to watch.
And Saturdays,
we also had Electric Circus was a big one for us.
We had Hit List, which was a kids' TV off of like YTV was kind of like a Nickelodeon sort of Canadian version of it.
I thought Nickelodeon was a Canadian version of Nickelodeon because I would watch like You Can't Do That on Television, Turkey TV. Everything was from Canada.
That was all on YTV, basically.
Okay, all right.
So it was, I guess, I don't know if they were affiliate, but we would get all of the Nickelodeon stuff on YTV. And they had on Saturdays, it was Hit List, which was a countdown for all of the countdowns on Saturdays. And then we also had Chum, which was part of City TV, and they had a countdown on Sundays. So it was like your whole weekend was filled with music videos.
Wow, we had Night Tracks. You guys, Bob, do you remember Night Tracks on TBS? Do you remember any of these other shows?
Night Tracks? No, on TBS. No, I remember Midnight Magic but that was a radio show that we used to have down here.
Yes.
We used to call in and, you put out a request for your girlfriend or the girl that you're in love with.
I used to love
great show.
I used to love, music videos so much that we had the VCRs back then, the tapes. I had a blank tape that I would have ready to go. And if there was a music video that I liked, I was pressing record because I wanted to watch that shit later. So I used to have at least 2 or 3 VHS tapes of music videos and concerts.
Only 2 or 3?
Only 2 or 3. Yeah, we're sitting here like a box full.
Boxes.
We would go for the 8-hour tape, not the 2-hour tape either.
Yes, I do the same thing. Yeah,
you have to switch what was it, like SLP and something? Yeah,
LP and SLP, SLP and
to record more. Yeah. And you would just record music videos and concerts because, man, that's what they did back then. And it was so awesome. And it wasn't until later, actually, that I discovered Much Music because I was a big fan. Headbangers Ball was a huge show. I'm obviously, you guys know already. I love the hard rock. And so when I discovered Loud, I was like, this channel shows better music videos than Headbangers Ball sometimes or 128 Minutes. I don't know if you remember that show with I think it was Matt Pinfield. So I if I could find much music on the channel guide, I would listen, and I would watch. I would look for when they were going to show Loud, because actually that's how I discovered a lot of bands that I didn't know, and just actually seeing them put out a music video and getting really into it.
So tell us, guys, we had different experiences growing up. We just outlined them right now. Watching music videos, we were MTV, and, Bob and Joseph kick in here if I'm missing anything. But MTV pretty much stopped playing videos on rotation late 90s. It was just Total Request Live, where they would play not even the whole video. It would be like 2 or 3 minutes of a video, and it kind of vanquished. It kind of vanished. And what was the point of that? What was the reason of that? What do you guys think? And then we'll ask if Much Music experienced the same thing.
It's like kids with ADHD, I guess.
Yeah.
Advertising. It was it became more about, I mean, they filmed it in New York. Obviously, if you saw that, I'm familiar with TRL. Did you ladies see that as well? Okay.
Carson Daly.
I've only seen a couple episodes. I never really got the American channel.
Well, he was it was this live kind of show. It was TRL, it's Total Request Live. It was the Carson Daly thing. And and Randy was right. They only played maybe a minute and a minute and a half of the video, and showing just a bunch of video cut in live moments of fans hanging out in the studio, and it became about everything around it. That's about the last time we saw music videos. And what's it really sucks is they didn't even really give it the full video, like you mentioned, Randy. I mean, that's as far as I can remember. I can't remember it. Yeah, that's about. I'm sorry, I can't think of any when it actually really stopped, and that's really when TRL went down. That was the end.
So my first, it was early 2000s.
Yeah, from my
early
perspective,
2000s.
TRL was more about the fans interacting or interviews with the artists than he said versus the videos and stuff like that. It was more
about the fan interaction.
Yeah.
And Steffi and Linda, you guys said you experienced the same thing with Much Music. Video started sort of becoming more and more extinct.
I think later than MTV possibly, because what they did is they did fringe channels actually. Once they started getting rid of Much Music videos, they would still do the countdown, but then they had Much Loud as a channel, Punch Much as a channel, Much More Music. Great. They had all these fringe channels that were specific, and then those I think lasted until 2010 or something like that, give or take. And then that's when they basically started pulling music videos out.
That sounds awesome. I would have really enjoyed a Much Loud.
You would have,
just instead of listening to it or watching it for an hour or however long it was.
Yeah.
How did you know? When did you realize that it was over, Rand? On MTV? I think once they did Teen Mom, and
I think
they're on Road Rules.
Jersey Shore.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think when the TV shows, and you know what?
That shit.
You know what? I will say this about MTV knows that the sustainability and ratings come from your attention span. So a 30-minute block is going to captivate an audience longer than a series of 5-minute videos. I could watch a video with a band that I like for 5 minutes, and then for the next 30 minutes not watch it because, none of these other bands I like. But with a TV show, if I'm watching, Real World, Road Rules, whatever other Teen Mom or whatever, you're going to sustain my attention for 30 minutes, and the ad revenue gets sustained as well. So it's all a business. I can't blame them. It sucks because we romanticize our youth, but that's just the way it is, right?
Steph, isn't because when we had interviewed Ed the Sock, do you guys know who Ed the Sock is?
Yes, and I heard that interview. It was good. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Yeah, because he went in to say that was why Bell did what they did when they took over Much Music, was because they called their audience, us, stupid and lack attention. Yeah. So they wanted to get our attention, so they would start playing TV shows instead of music videos. And for me, I stopped watching once the countdown was off.
I think I stopped watching. Yeah, long
that was
before
about
you
probably
did.
05, 06, I think that was.
I think I stopped around 04.
Was when they stopped the countdown.
Because I'd gone to the fringe channel by that point.
I remember when they canceled Electric Circus, and so many people were so mad
upset.
What is Electric Circus?
It's an electric dance party.
Yeah. So basically on Friday nights, they would go into the Much Music studios, and they would have it would be basically all the dance music that you would hear that wouldn't be on the daytime. Then they'd have shadow dancers, basically.
Kind of like Club MTV then, right?
Sure.
So The Grind or whatever, Eric Nees or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay, yeah, that sounds familiar to what that was.
Sounds like you didn't watch it. Joseph.
No.
I remember that being a catastrophic event when they canceled that.
But then they started BPM, which is again another fringe channel, which was all just dance music. I don't know if you guys had the same thing.
What sounds good for you all is that they at least tried to they at least tried to keep it going after so many, like the main channel, I guess, was changed programming. When MTV dropped like the videos and went straight into this reality TV format of Jersey Shore and all that stuff, it completely ended. So at least like, and I even switched over to VH1 because VH1 was still at least doing some music. VH1 is not that anymore either. So at least it sounds like the Much network or the powers that be that own Much try to at least keep it going on these fringe channels that you mentioned. Try to do something, because man, that would have been at least nice.
It's all about sustainability. Go ahead.
They are trying to do something now, coming back with TikTok, but and again, the same way of romanticizing, but people aren't sure if it's going to go. And they did it after Ed the Sock had done his New Music Nation, so it's kind of interesting.
It was redundant, and the comments were hilarious.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you guys think this generation, and maybe I'm skipping ahead here, but is this generation, is it built or is it capable of watching a music video program? I mean, we watch TikTok videos. They're little 1-minute snippets of just ridiculousness. Can we watch 30 minutes of 4-minute blocks of videos?
I easily could.
When you have it on in the background for cleaning and stuff, and it's just there. Like I was literally all afternoon, I watched all of Britney's videos, all of them.
Yeah.
Just while we're sitting around in the house. So it could still be possible.
We were watching, and Bob, share a little bit about, we were watching some videos at your house, and we were just comment. It was like a Beavis and Butthead episode. We were commenting on spin doctors, and we didn't notice this before, and it was fun. It's a fun time, and it just seems like it's part and parcel to a generation gone past. Yeah.
I don't think it could be. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we're paying attention more now than we did then. Like Steph was saying, that you have music videos on in the background while you're kind of doing something. I think that's what we did when we were 16. They'd be on and we'd be watching them, but we'd also be talking to our friends or having a drink or, talking on the phone or whatever. And now we kind of paid attention, like we mentioned, the Spin Doctors video or whatever the hell we were watching that night. Like you kind of see things or pick up on things that we didn't really before. I think if they brought it back, I think they'd have a big audience, or at least us oldies, right? We'd want to watch those videos.
We would, but I don't think, as far as a new generation, to your question, no. I think if it doesn't catch these kids or young adults or teenagers within the first 30 seconds, they're not going to pay attention. And that's what's so great about TikTok, I guess, for them, is that it's an instant thing that's going to happen. You're going to wait and see some stupid dance or whatnot, and you're going to go to the next one. You're going to have to, like, these kids now, this generation nowadays, it's not going to work. Like we're going to talk about when we get into your pick, Randy. The video has to, like, it takes off. It's a slow little, it's a story. And I'm not going to say too much.
Terrible.
But, but it takes a while to get into the story of the video. And that's just not something that, this generation has this day. The short attention spans are.
And in the 90s, actually, me and my partner were talking about this the other day. So in the 80s, like MTV first came out, like 85, they were still, music videos were new. They were still trying to figure out how to do it, what to do. And then all of a sudden in the 90s, they're like, we got this, and we got the money behind us. So that's when you started getting like Scream with Michael Jackson, these epic videos throughout the 90s. So like, exactly. We can find all these huge expensive videos. And then what's the most expensive one now? Taylor Swift's Bad Blood. Oh, whoop-de-doo.
Because of how much they had to pay her freaking celebrity friends.
Exactly.
That's the only reason why it's so freaking expensive.
You'll never find those kind of videos of epic proportions like you did in the 90s.
Everybody's kind of touches upon bad 90s videos and the story. Joseph, you mentioned it earlier. Let's shift gears a little bit. What defines a bad 90s music videos? What are some of the tropes, themes, etc.? When you're finding a bad 90s music video, as we all had to do the past week, what are you guys looking for? What are some of the common themes? Stephanie and Lindy, we could go first with you guys.
Some of the ones that was like maybe weird claymation things, maybe even weird camera angles, maybe awkward backgrounds, weird clothing, awkward dance moves. Maybe these were things that
that's really like every 90s music video.
Yeah, exactly. Every bad 90s music video. I was actually, I agree totally. It's for me, when I was watching them, I was like, what kind of dancing was this, and why were we doing it? Why was it so popular? Thankfully I never tried to do it. I may have been a little too young to be pulling off such moves. But also, an over use of clothing. And you're right, the camera effects. I think we got really into the fish lens back then, the 90s, right? Or was that late 2000s?
Joseph, I knew you were very quiet when we were watching Rump Shaker by Rex and Effect. I don't know if that was for research or for other purposes, but What about you, Bob? Lindy, what are some of the trunks?
I was gonna say, of course, it's horrible dancing. Cheesy music videos and like terrible concepts where like the song doesn't really match the music video. Except for, of course, Baby Got Back. Right, that one like matched perfectly. I always laugh when an artist takes themselves way too seriously, like I did with You Spin Me Right Around the 80s. Whenever the artist is like really into it, or he's taking himself or herself or themselves way too seriously, and it's kind of laughable now. I always think that makes for a terrible music video, a worse music video. But a lot of horrible dancing. Shit, I thought the 80s was bad, but at least in the 80s they were playing musical instruments. Now, like in the 90s, like a lot of them just try to dance, and it's bad. I
have to disagree. Have any of you actually done the dances from the 90s?
What, like the Running Man?
No, I don't mean the Running Man, but like pretty much any other dance move from the 90s.
Backstreet Boys, the Spice Girls, MC Hammer Shuffle.
I used to be able to do the MC Hammer.
You can't judge if you haven't done it. Those 90s dances were so much fun. I'd still fucking do them. Okay?
Dude, they are fun. They are fun. I'm just glad there wasn't a camera phone around to capture me doing that stupid.
I wouldn't care. Upload that shit. I don't care.
Then Lindy, start putting on TikTok then.
We've gone through this.
Bob does a mean Bumblebee girl from the Blind Melon video. So
nice.
You haven't lived. So we're going to talk a little bit about our honorable mentions. Some of the videos we didn't pick, but we were thinking about selecting. Bob, what are some of the videos that didn't make your cut, but you were looking at?
One of the ones I was looking up that I saw I hadn't seen, I completely forgot about, was Eddie Murphy and Michael Jackson did a song together.
Yes.
And they were so crazy enough that they did a music video together. What's Up With You? Terrible. It's fucking terrible. Just give that one a look. Wilson Phillips, hold on for one more day. It looks like they shot the video on the movie set for Alive. Y'all ever seen Alive? And the fucked up thing is the music lyrics kind of like echo, ironically, the movie. And is he holding on for one more day? It's kind of weird. It's kind of gross. Those two specifically. Oh, and then Milli Vanilli, Girl, You Know It's True. That one. And you think, hey, it's a badass song. It's a good song. At least I did, or I do. But the dancing, holy shit, that's terrible dancing. Terrible dancing.
So was their singing, apparently.
Right?
Yeah, apparently. I was like, they should have got somebody to dance for them instead of sing for them.
They got rid of those German accents really quick. It's like, wow, these guys can sing without a hint of an accent. They can barely talk English.
They should have got rid of the shoulder pads in their damn
biker shorts.
Coats. Yeah, the bike shorts.
What about you, Lindy? What were some of your honorable mentions?
Well, my first one had to be Horny by Moose T. That one.
I'm not familiar with that one.
You haven't I'm horny. No?
It was bad.
We're gonna edit that out.
Oh,
is it Canadian?
No, this one is absolutely so terrible. Like, there's this creepy bunny costume, this guy in a bunny costume handing out condoms to kids. These kids throw the condoms at each other. It lands in a vehicle. The husband finds it, thinks his wife is cheating, and then he goes and cheats on her. Like, it's just the fucking stupidest video ever. It really is.
That's very questionable.
And then there's these two, like, which I think are prostitutes, with their pimps singing in the back seat, or like just dancing around in the vehicle, just talking about how horny they are.
I'm afraid to Google that.
I'm watching that right now.
Like,
watch
just
it
terrible.
a little bit.
Absolutely. One might not be a popular opinion, but The Sign by Ace of Base.
Oh, yeah.
It's just so super cliche.
It is
absolutely cliche. It's got the black and white, like they're all staring off in different directions.
Mm-hmm.
Like their profiles. The men don't sing at all, not once.
It's true.
And then
pretty.
the computer generated flames with the onks floating around the girls.
Is it just the video you don't like, or do you at least appreciate the song?
I love the song. I love
great song. Great song.
Great song.
Yeah.
Song.
Good song.
But the video is just, I don't like, it's just so horribly put together. It was a terrible idea. Like, whoever brought up this idea to them, I don't know. It was wretched. And then my last one is Crushed by Jennifer Page.
Oh, yeah. Love that song.
It's just a 4-minute long tampon commercial. He has no chemistry with the camera at all. Like, she might as well be singing to, like, an egg. I don't know. Just bad.
And the dude in the video was at least in a few like teen movies at the time, so he could at least try to get the chemistry with her, and she just nothing.
Well, who was it? Do you remember who it was? Brendan.
I can't remember.
Wasn't it?
Something. I remember it was Brendan his first name. I can't remember the last name.
Brendan Fraser.
Not Fraser.
Okay.
F-E-H-R.
All right.
Yeah.
Or F-H-U-R. I don't know.
Something.
Oh, we got to check it out.
Those are my three.
What about you, Joseph? Who do you have for honorable mention?
I'm gonna say Rico Suave by what was his name again? S.A.
Gerardo.
Oh
yeah.
That's
You
just
can't even
I
roll
mean,
your R's. You can't even roll your R's.
We're all the guys on this podcast are all Latinos, and he took us back 30 years.
We're all Latinos who can't speak Spanish.
Neither could he, by the way.
Settle down.
I got that one. I got and this one made it just underneath because I think it came out. I had to look it up. It came out in '99. "Miserable" by Lit. As much as I love that song, the video is so stupid. I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, I love Pamela, but what's the point of it? What's the point of the video? I mean,
she picks them up and eats them.
I mean, what are they singing to? I mean, was she dating the singer or something, or is that supposed to be the story that she's the girl that makes them so miserable? But it just, I mean, you could have done something better. It's just them basically playing in front of a blue screen because it's an oversized, gigantic Pamela Anderson, which is like not bad sometimes. You don't?
I don't think I remember this video.
It's
check it out.
Don't get me wrong. I love the song. I love
What's the
great song. Lit, Miserable by Lit. You make me come completely.
There you go.
Okay, that just got it. Yep, I remember that.
What was the other one that I had? I'm sorry, I can't remember. Rum Shaker. It's stupid. I mean, I'm sorry. I apologize. Come on. It's just overkill. I mean, I you know what the point of the song is, but I mean, it's just, it's too much. I guess never too much.
What about you, Steffi? What are your honorable mentions?
Okay, so my first one is my partner thinks it's a great video. I think it's Cheese Chattahoochee, Alan Jackson.
Okay.
Yes.
He's water skiing in boots and jeans and his hat. It's just, I know it's so seems so American back then too, but it's so cheesy and funny.
Good song though.
It's a good song. Love the song. Love the song.
It's like every country bar in Texas.
Yeah, it's been played many times.
Right? Water skiing. I didn't get it. Another one to our dear Canadians. I didn't know this existed until I saw when I was looking up videos, Fromage in '93. Apparently this one. It was called Rock'em Sock'em Techno by Don Cherry, who is the coach. He does Coach's Corner up here. He's a hockey coach. And he did a set of videos that was called Coach's Corner. And this was on one of them. And it's the worst thing ever. You can barely see anything. He's in these glasses. There's these girls and he's like, let's go. And he's all technoized. And he's like, oh, yay, Bobby Orr, let's go score. The worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But I didn't realize it existed until I searched more. And then, not that it was a bad video, but it just has been the longest thing that has annoyed me since the 90s, Just by Radiohead. Why are they all laying on the ground? And what did he say to make them fall on the ground? What was it? I want to know.
They found out why he was a creep.
Maybe. But it's the biggest mystery. And I just say it's the worst one because I want to know. It's been haunting me for 30 years.
We're going to have to look that up.
Move on, Steph, move on.
No.
I hear my honorable mentions. I had MC Hammer, Too Legit to Quit. This was at a point where MC Hammer was one of the biggest stars. I think he was blowing up his own spot with this. He thought, I could do no wrong. I'm going to hire all these celebrities, these athletes, and people just thought it was a mockery. He kind of fell off the hill there.
Is that the one that ended with Michael Jackson's Single Glove doing the Too Legit?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
That never caught on, right? Too Legit to Quit. I also had David Hasselhoff, I Can't Fight This, or Hooked on the Feeling. I'm sorry, Hooked on the Feeling.
I didn't see that one. Terrible.
I did not select it because I think Hoff was in on the joke.
In on the joke.
He was in on the joke. It was just horrible. It was just like somebody was editing that shit with Microsoft Paint or some shit. It was awful. Barbie Girl was my other selection by Aqua, which a horrible song, horrible
in my
video.
Heart. I still love the video.
It matches the song though. That's why
right. Exactly.
At least it matches the song. It was kind of out there.
I'm just happy that.
Friends.
Oh, sorry, but I'm just happy that Right Said Fred escaped our honorable mentions because I
forgot about that one.
Hey, you already have the shaved head, Randy. You could have done it, man. You could have done it.
I think the other honorable mention was Color Me Bad somewhere too.
Okay, you can't go with Color Me Bad. I thought All for Love was a bad video, but going back to Right Said Fred, the video just, they rip off their shirts and these guys are buff and they're just walking down the street. It's a bad video.
And then when they're like this, but the gyrating or whatever.
Yes.
But weren't they in on the joke though? I think they. So I mean, yes, they knew what they were doing. It was meant to be, I think they took it to another level as far as making it bad. But what was cool is at least they were in on it.
Everyone here has at least sung that song when they've come out of the shower when they're getting out of the store. Come on, don't fucking lie to you.
So let's go to our selections. Bob, you're up first. What is the all-time worst 90s music video and why?
Oh, shit. Well, doing a lot of research, I actually thought there was going to be a lot more terrible videos than there actually were. I found myself flipping through videos and being like, it wasn't so bad. And liking some of them. I thought that'd be really cheesy. But I went with Vanilla Ice, I Love You. First off, this is possibly the worst love song that I've ever heard in my life. I mean, you have a better chance of getting laid listening to the Love Shack than you do to this shit. Vanilla Ice, he made the fatal mistake of following up his biggest hit, Ice Ice Baby, with I Love You. I can't stand this song. How can anyone take this guy seriously? I mean, first off, he's dressed like the Riddler. He's whispering these junior high love lyrics, and he has this wannabe Boys to Men group singing behind him. That I guess this is. I have no idea, man. It's just terrible. And then the video follows suit with this cheap green screen, cloud sky background, and it's shot on the street corner with a telephone booth. For you young kids that don't know what a telephone booth is, check out this video. The entire video is just Vanilla Ice trying to look sexy in his bedazzled outfits, break dancing while softly singing and whispering this love song. He literally does the fucking Charleston, for God's sakes, on top of a telephone booth. I mean, and it's supposed to be a love song, and it's everything about it is just so cheesy and so over the top and so like. You could say, "Oh, that's '90s," but it's just terrible. It's terrible, terrible.
I have a terribly awesome fact about this video. It was directed by Michael Bay.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
And that's what I was going to get to.
Tends to do that.
So, I mean, like for Vanilla Ice, it actually, I think this is the thing that pulled the rug from under his feet and ended his career. But this is what started what Michael Bay's fucking career, directing Vanilla Ice's possibly worst song and worst music video of the '90s, which is crazy. Just
He's
watching the video, there's literally an impromptu breakdancing scene while this sexy sax is playing in the background, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? I found myself asking that question, more than a few times during this video. Vanilla Ice, at that point in time, I think he was reaching a pretty high level of stardom, and I think this is the thing that ended his career.
Easily.
Linda, you had something to say?
Pardon?
Did you have something to say?
I would say Michael. It's just like Michael Bay, all style, no style.
Oh yeah.
And he also directed around that time a bunch of Donny Osmond videos as well, which I thought was funny because I was like, Donny Osmond.
I mean, when you think of Vanilla Ice, obviously you think of Donny Osmond.
And I did have that ridiculous suit at the beginning was in my notes.
Did he direct Donny Osmond's Soldier of Love? Because that's a great video. Okay, it looks like a Michael Bay video. Yeah. Okay.
Isn't that a Sade song? Or did she do her own version?
I think it's an old version.
Oh.
He also did "I Touch Myself's" video by Divinyls.
Oh wow, that was a great video though.
I think you like the lyrics more than you like the video.
What are y'all's thoughts on Vanilla Ice's "I Love You"?
I'll go ahead. So as lame as the video is, yes, Bob, I kind of look at it and think like, it's not unexpected. This is exactly what Vanilla Ice was going to do as the follow up. So I mean, Ice Ice Baby is a great song. The video, I don't hate it, because I think I'm just more into the song. But when I watched this video, I was like, yeah, this is pretty expected. The wardrobe choices are horrible. Obviously, those stupid suits. But that was him. So I mean, it's like, yeah, again, I expected it. I really hated the negative filter, that stuff you were mentioning with I don't know why it kept going in and out of that. What really, really bothered me was the stupid overuse of fade in and fade out and fade in and fade out of like each scene. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, if I had a condition this and I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to say anything, but if you have, epilepsy, this might hurt you. Watching this video, so like, what the fuck was he thinking
over here? Okay,
the dancing was off on some sort. Like I saw him, like he was doing some breakdance moves. I was like, this song is too soft for you to be doing some breakdance moves. Like, what the fuck was that?
Well,
and
the
then,
lyrics weren't gonna get him the girl. Fuck, he had to do something.
And then the phone call, yes, the phone booth phone call, where he pulled out his phone from the street, I don't know, to call a girl on the phone in the phone booth, and then jump off the phone booth like fucking Spider-Man. Like, what the hell was that? Like, I'm here, girl. Like I didn't understand it.
Like creepy watching over her shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what the hell was that? Again, it's really, really bad. I just kind of like some of it. I was like, yeah, I watched it and I was like, that's him. That seems like something he would have done. What about you?
That's fair.
Like I said, the ridiculous suit was definitely something I had noted at the beginning with the diamond checkers. Ridiculous. And then it just kind of seemed very on par for his brand and early like 90s rapper Slow Jams videos.
Yes. What about you, Lindy?
I know I found, Joseph just said like pretty much everything I had in my notes. But like the one thing was that my very first thing was that he raps better than he sings. He's not a singer. He's a rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
For sure. For sure. That, I don't know what that soft whisper.
The talking singing. Oh, that's one of my biggest pet peeves in music videos is when you talk sing. It drives me insane.
If only he had Suge Knight write his lyrics for this one, I bet you it would have been a hell of a hit.
Right?
You know what I noticed? I'm surprised nobody mentioned this, but this is a direct ripoff of LL Cool J's I Need Love from 1985. LL Cool J had the market cornered on rap love ballads. He had I Need Love, Around the Way Girl, Love You Better. That wasn't until Biggie came out with Me and My Bitch. Anyway, rap love ballads were a thing. And the thing is, he's hip hop dancing during a sexy sax solo. It just doesn't match up. I felt that the video was like, hey, let's just find a soundstage. Let's just try to like paste this together. Michael Bay was...
Let's
probably
make it look like a city.
Yeah, it was just a horrible video. I agree 100%. I don't think it's the worst video, but it was. I think it was one of the worst. It was one of the worst for sure.
There's only one guy that can dance when there's a sexy sax thing in the background. And who is it, Joseph? Who is it?
Sergio.
Yeah, George Michael. What the fuck?
Sorry, what came to my? I had an SNL skit coming to my head.
Let's move on to our next selection. Steffi, who do you got for us?
Okay, so my selection was Defunct by Daft Punk. So basically, this video starts out with this guy who is he's a dog. He's got a dog head, but he's supposed to be a dog. He has a broken foot and a radio, and I guess the radio's broken. And it's basically titled Big City Nights. So he's walking around New York City and interacts with a bunch of like different people. So he goes to a bookstore. A guy tells him to turn the radio down. His kids find him. They knock his crutch down, make fun of him. He tries to do a survey. That doesn't work. And he goes to the liquor store. He sees this girl and they've known each other from like back when they were kids. And, oh, come on, let's like go and we'll have dinner, meet up or whatever. And they go to take a bus and the bus says no radios. And he's just like, because he doesn't want to let go of his radio. He doesn't want to turn it off. So he just lets the girl get away on the bus. And then thus ends the Big City Nights.
Can I add something?
Just for the life of me, I never understood.
There's no lyrics in this song.
Yes,
Right.
there's no lyrics in the song as well.
Dialogue.
It's just a dance music. It's just dialogue. This
And
guy
the dialogue
talking
of the
throughout the
video.
whole thing. It was originally released in 95, but they re-released it in 96, and it was directed by Spike Jonze.
Mike Jones, yes.
Like
So-
Jones.
I could see where, like, I could understand watching it how it was directed by Spike Jonze, but the plot and everything, I just don't get it. And why wouldn't he have turned off his radio to go on the bus with the girl? Come on. Although apparently there was a video after called Fresh, where Charles, the dog, becomes famous and is with this Beatrice girl now. So there's a follow-up video, so everything turned out okay.
I gotta
Right?
watch that.
I want to know how they got to that point.
Yeah.
Did they have man puppies?
Oh.
No idea.
What are your thoughts on this video, everybody?
There was, one of the things I was gonna say. It's one of the weirdest Seinfeld episodes I've ever seen. First off, it's funny, and I was thinking about this, and I talked about it to Josie yesterday. It seems to be, I think you chose it because there's a little bit of Canadian jealousy here. I think there's some resentment. It's because in the United States back in the '90s we had McGruff the crime dog. Do y'all know who McGruff the crime dog is?
McGruff, yeah.
Oh, you all have McGruff too.
You
I
have
was gonna say.
McGruff too.
I was like, it might be because maybe they don't have McGruff in Canada. Maybe she chose this out of some sort of resentment. Yeah,
They have Jean-Claude the poodle.
No, totally kidding. I don't get the McGruff mask and the dog, and it's overall. It seems like it's more of trying to tell a story than a music video. I didn't really see it as a music video, so it kind of threw me off a little bit. it's bad, but it's also, I don't know. It's just something about it. Doesn't remind me of a music video. It reminds you of something you'd see like in a sitcom or a movie or a low budget movie back then. So granted, now that you're saying Spike Jonze directed it, that makes total sense to me. I wish Vanilla Ice and I Love You had done the same thing and not used any lyrics and just the music in the background. He probably would have not ended his career. But other than that, that's all I have to say. I thought it was a big shot. Like, why the hell are they using McGruff in this video? What do you think, Joe?
For me, it was really weird watching this. I did not understand it. And I think this is actually a really good pick, Stephanie, because what the fuck is going on in this video? Like, I don't understand it. And what's weird, what makes me question this more is I didn't know this song, and I'd never seen the video until we were doing the research. And when I watched it, I was like, is this the same group that put out fantastic hits like Around the World and Get Lucky? I was like, this song is horrible. And I went and listened to the song itself without the video, because you can, the whole thing, the story that's going on kind of plays over the music in the background. And I was like, man, this song sucks.
And it was on the same album as Around the World. So I don't understand how you got from that one to Around the World in the same album. And
granted, the Around the World video is kind of out there too. But this one is just like, I don't understand the purpose of doing this story. And maybe now I need to watch the second one. Thank you for the fun fact information about the continued story. I got to watch that now to figure out what's going to go on, because I was like, is he, I didn't understand if he was famous or what, why is he a man dog? And everybody else is human.
New to the city. That was all it said. And it didn't even, and he has a name Charles, and that's about it.
So this one was really weird, and this is really out there. And I think what makes it, I guess, bad is you just don't understand it. It's so, and then again, these dudes, Daft Punk, they're a little bit out there as far as, the robots, they were, I think they broke up recently. Yeah, man, this is a horrible video. I'll just leave it at that.
Lindy?
My only thing is, how the hell did Beatrice not recognize him?
Right?
Exactly.
Because there's other dog men out there too.
But I agree with everybody else's opinions.
Randy?
I think, not everyone is aware of how old Daft Punk is. They've been around since the 80s. And I think it's because they wear helmets that make them look like really clean urinals. I don't know if it's a bad video so much as it's a good student film. It's gritty. Yeah. It's different. It reminds me of that Netflix show, Sexy Beast, where they're dating and they're wearing all these I don't know if you guys see.
I think that was on Betamax.
We don't get American Netflix. We have Canadian Netflix.
Oh, you have Canadian Netflix. Okay. Well, there's this dating game. There's this dating game on Netflix where everybody's dressed with like animal, what do you call them, furries or whatever, and they're out on dates. Anyway, don't worry.
You can only watch it after midnight.
I would watch the shit out of that.
That's what it looked like.
I'm sure there's a way you can hack your device to get the.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Okay, you guys are barely getting Lethal Weapon and Die Hard and stuff up there.
Okay, I have all of those movies, so that's fine.
But no, the video, I'm okay with the song. It feels like a song you should do Cheap Drugs to, and other than that, I had no problems with it.
Please define what cheap drugs are.
I won't go. I have a PhD, sir.
It's the type of shit he had to use to get the PhD.
Moving on, Joseph. What is your pick and why?
Okay, so I went with Joey Lawrence. Nothing My Love Can't Fix. Okay. If you know anything about some quick facts about the song, if you didn't know, for the listeners out there, Joey Lawrence, that Joey had a self-titled album released back in 1993. If you check out the cover of this thing, it looks like he's a big fan of Shawn Michaels. He's got the no shirt, but the vest or whatever type of thing. I don't know what it was. I just saw it and I was like, yeah, this guy was a big wrestling fan.
Handsome.
Anyway, so the song Nothing My Love Can't Fix was the lead single from that album. This is at the height of Blossom's success. The great show, funny show.
Season 3.
Yeah. Some good stuff. Topics were great. Some real hard hitting, it was cool. It was a good show. Anyway, Mayim Bialik was awesome. Credit to her. And I'm sure that at the height of his success, I'm guessing he was approached and asked if he could sing the song, and they just sure, let's see what happens, and hey, it works. Let's run with it. This guy was huge. So why not? It's a money grab. More power to you. It's great. The video is horrible. The wardrobe selection. When I watch this, I think to myself, how right now, like there's a lot of 90s nostalgia out there. We're bringing a lot of like some of the fashion back. A lot of the TV shows, we're seeing a lot of reboots and things like that. This is a song that this is the video that you're going to see somebody do today. This is as a nostalgia video. They're going to go back and watch this video and use it as the blueprint. So somehow this video is the key to doing anything, 90s nostalgia. They're trying to pass it off as at the time, I don't understand. Like, this is what a throwback video would be, except it came out at the right time. It's like somebody took everything about the 90s and jam-packed it into a 4-minute video. Exactly. We got graffiti walls, roller skates, a lot of skating. Wait, it's cool. We skated a lot in the 90s. I understand. I don't think I can do it today, but you never know.
Not after you.
No, I broke my ankle. I can't do it anymore. I have the flashbacks of that. The baggy clothing is crazy. The flannel shirts tied around the waist. I think everybody had one. I think there's only like one instance in the video where Joey's like not wearing a flannel shirt tied around his waist. And it's this scene where he's like singing at sunset in front of the beach. And he's got the, Shawn Michaels vesting going on, but he doesn't have the vest. He doesn't have the flannel shirt tied around his waist. I think this is one shot that he's not doing this. Clearly, he's a Philadelphia sports fan. He doesn't let very many scenes or segments go by without him wearing some kind of Phillies hat or Eagles hat. I get the oversized clothing. I couldn't understand the oversized clothing football beach scene. Why are you wearing so much clothes to go play beach football? And it looks like they're in California. So why are you overdressed for California weather? I got to assume everybody was hot. I didn't get the leather jacket. That's another thing too. Like, why are you walking down the street in a leather jacket in California?
It worked for Jake in California Dreams, Joseph.
Right?
Very true.
I mean,
in California?
I don't think they have cold winters in California. I mean, it's an overkill 90s video. Again, it's funny and it's funny to see. Like, I laughed so much when I watched it because I was like, this is so fucking cheesy. Like, this is everything that they used to make fun of the 90s about, packed into one video, but now is coming back. And it's crazy. And the song's kind of cheesy too. But I mean, hey, it worked. And I thought, yeah, this is a little bit better shot, video choice as far as like the song. I think it was a ballad. And he went in a better direction for that video. But this video was crazy. Like, I mean, it's overkill. It's sensory overload as far as like 90s. Like, that's where I'm at on this.
By the way, it was directed by Martin Scorsese. What are our thoughts on Joey Lawrence's video? Who wants to go first?
Well, I guess I will. I love this video. I don't know. I still love this. Oh, my cat's in here. Hey. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, no, I love this video when I was little. I still love it now. Joey Lawrence was hot then. Still hot. Pretty sure he's over 18 in this video. The only thing
16. I looked at it. He was 16 when this video was actually released.
His chest is 21.
There you go. The only thing I hated about it was when he was on that like spinning thing and he had the camera like right in front of his face.
The low angle from like
and the low angle shot,
or whatever.
Where
and then
he was spinning on something at the beach and the camera was right in his face, like following him. I hate those shots. I hate those point of view shots. They're just sickening where the camera's attached to your face, like right here, and it follows your every freaking move. Like, it drives me nuts.
There was one angle where it was like literally like, not for bad, but like when someone was trying to take like a dick pic, and he was like gyrating to the camera almost in there. I was like, what is happening in this scene right now? I'm a little terrified.
Thank God his pants were like 3 sizes too big, right?
That's why I had to check the age he was when he filmed this, because I was like, why am I watching him gyrate? Like, it was a little disturbing. And then I also have his rap breakdown kind of towards the end.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that.
You didn't mention the white guy rapping,
right? It was just so good. And then the other thing, like you said, everything about your fashion. So mine was like Gen Z's. If you want classic 90s fashions tips, watch this video. Plaid shirts tied around the waist, spandex, like biker shorts, Levi's distressed jeans, and the oversized leather jacket, all of it. Like,
I still love that look.
That is it.
It's classic. It's classic. It will never go out of style.
Right?
I think it's a super cliche. I don't think it's bad. Watching the video, I actually think it's great.
Yeah, you do.
It's more like a cliche '90s video. Like you said, it has everything about the '90s wrapped in one at that point in time. It really does look like the opening credit scene to any '90s TV show. If you could probably put it over any '90s TV show credits, and it would work perfectly.
In color, like
in
Prime,
living color.
same thing.
Fresh Prince,
Prime.
everything, yeah.
I really liked it. Like other than even him rapping was better than Vanilla Ice in that "I Love You" video. I'm sorry, I know I'm shitting on Vanilla Ice,
Don't
but it
apologize
was just a big '90s cliche video. But it looked like he was having fun, and it's like your LFO video, Joseph. That's what it was in the '90s. Your LFO.
Which
video.
one? Which
Summer
video?
Girls?
Summer Girls.
Of course. Was there more than
Jake?
one?
Girl on TV?
Girl on TV.
Yes.
Every other time?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah. Speaking. Okay, I'm glad you brought up Jennifer Love Hewitt because she actually used to date Joey Lawrence.
Yes.
So was there anybody in the '90s she didn't date other than maybe the lead singer from the Counting Crows? I think she dated everybody. Joseph always gets disappointed.
But I think Kate Hudson
lead-
actually was dating him for a bit.
The lead
Was
singer
he?
for the Counting Crows is a saint. You leave him
Wow.
alone.
Oh
Yep.
my God. Now, okay, before I nitpick on this video, the one thing I want to talk about is Blossom. Is it me? The older brother, Anthony, is it me?
Yes.
Or is it every scene he came out and he had to remind us he was a former drug addict? I just remember like he's fixing a sandwich, when I did cocaine or when he was, every scene was him, talking about heroin, yet he looked like Beaver Cleaver. And I was like, this guy did not do drugs. Anyway, so, he dated.
Recovery's a part of life.
I think we're giving Joey Lawrence a hard time because we've come to expect this from artists like Joey Lawrence. It's right in his wheelhouse. It's cheesy, it's corny, it's dance. It's, if this was like Ice Cube, then we'd have a gripe, right? But it's Joey Lawrence. He has a far worse video called Stay Forever, where it looks like he's kidnapped a woman and he's keeping her in his act. Check that video out. Stay Forever.
That was the next one.
By Joey Lawrence.
Check that one.
Video. But he was, I don't know. I mean, he had a little bit of a run there early with Blossom. I didn't have a problem with this video, but it's very cheesy, very corny. But I think we come to expect that from TV stars becoming musical artists. That's my thought. Right.
Still happens.
It still happens. Yeah. Yes, it still does happen.
It's forever gonna happen.
It wasn't terrible. That's all I'm gonna say. It wasn't terrible.
So we're going on to our next selection. We got Lindy coming up. What do you have for us, Lindy?
I chose Everything But the Girls Missing. I chose this video because when Steph asked me about doing a podcast with you guys and she told me what the topic was, this was the very first video that popped in my head. And it's because anytime this video came on, I heard the first note and click, change, click off. I can't. This song is like nails on a chalkboard to me. I hate it so much. So first off, it looks like a high school English media project, for starters. The quality of it is terrible. The only thing I liked about it was the typical 90s, speeding by traffic at night, at the beginning and at the end of the video. That was the only thing that was actually good. And it's just 4 minutes of her pacing in her apartment and singing at the mirror.
Or walking through the streets of London.
Yeah, missing a guy who, through the clips that we see of him, has obviously moved on with his life, doesn't think about her at all. And here it is years later, and she's still missing him. Get over it, honey. Find someone else. Seriously. Just shit or get off the pot. Come on. It's just terrible. I don't know, everything about this video I just hate so much. Just so much. Yeah, and also just a little thing that I noticed, that they were both watching the same TV show. It looks like really bad soft porn.
Yes.
Is there such a thing?
Is there such
there was? But this was just bad. And that video, whoever filmed that video, just hide away forever. Wow.
It's probably Michael Bay.
Probably.
What are our thoughts on that, guys?
Everybody,
actually.
I was really curious to hear what you were going to say about this, because when we found out what it was, and I was like, I don't think I know that song. And so I had to go look for it and listen to it. And I was like, I know this song, but I know it as the club song or the dance song. So I was like,
what clubs are you going to?
I forgot they did remixes. So
there's that dance remix one. And I was like, I remember this song. And I was like, I didn't hate the song. And truth be told, I always thought the lyrics were like the desert's mystery, and I was like, oh, the desert has a mystery, but apparently it was the desert's missed the rain. So when I was
deeper.
it's which is so much deeper. Yeah, exactly. So I had to listen to the original one, and I'm like, okay, well, I watched both. We've seen both of them, and they're basically the same. It's the same video. And I watched it, and I said, I don't know why she hates this video so much. I go. It's a little like, okay, it's explanatory. She misses the guy. I don't know. I was confused by the story. I didn't know if the guy was like a strung out musician or failed musician, because he's there in his own apartment. He's kind of playing the guitar here and there, and I was like, maybe he has a drug problem or something.
Yeah, he looks like he has a drug problem.
He looks a little thin. And maybe
he's just
that's
a soccer fan.
And maybe, that's why, the relationship ended, and she misses that. And yeah, it's a little cheesy. She sings, she walks around, singing the song. I didn't understand. You mentioned the part about what they were watching. I was like, well, maybe he became like a porn star, and now she's watching his videos or something. She's just so like, now she misses him so much. Like, I didn't understand why she was watching that. And I didn't know if it was the same guy, because it looked like, maybe because it looked different. I think the guy in the what was on the TV show, whatever they were watching, had longer hair. So I was like, well, maybe that was his past life. I thought that the video went on par with the song, and so it is a little like weird and it's out there. But I'm not gonna lie, I do like this. I like the dance version better, because I heard it when I was little. I heard it so much.
Go for it, Joseph.
So, but no, I was really curious as to what you were going to say about that, because I was like, well, I don't think it's that bad, but I do see its cheesiness. Yes, I do. I was
definitely boring too. Like, not a lot going on.
I figured it would have probably been an unpopular opinion of mine, because it was a very popular song. It did reach like the number one, and it stayed at number one for a while. Like, it was on the charts. A lot of people like this song.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't.
Hey, no, that's what we're here to do. I don't
know.
It looks like
I found it whiny and boring and depressing, and I just wasn't about that back then. I just not now, because I'm not.
It was like a music video for a Calvin Klein commercial. That's what it was.
Well, it was at, I was gonna say, it was actually my note. It was actually at the height of the like heroin chic back in the 90s.
Yeah, good point.
So exactly, you say Calvin
That
Klein.
makes sense.
Everyone was doing that wayfish, very thin, dark eye type thing, and that was definitely what I felt in this video. It was almost like they were sitting in their apartment longing each other because they were addicted to heroin or something.
What's funny is listening to all the picks, I thought of, like, when you mentioned this song, I was like, I know that song. That's actually a good song. That's the most memorable song out of all the ones that we picked. I didn't take as big of a deep dive as Joseph did on the song, but I thought the video is, it's okay. Maybe she was thinking about her obviously she was thinking about her former lover. I don't get the Betamax makeout scene in the middle, but yeah, it reminded me like of if Calvin Klein made a music video, this would probably be a good candidate.
I'm sure it played during runway shows and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Most likely.
I could see that.
What about you, Steffi? You got any other notes on it?
No, just boring. It was I didn't hate it. Like, I wasn't like Lindy, like wasn't a visceral. I hated the video, but just watching it, I was like, it's not on my top list of them. Like, if we're gonna go for videos out of London, I'd rather do Your Town, Your Woman, but
yeah,
that one was funnier.
Yes, that was a badass one too. That was more catchy, right. I think.
Exactly. Whereas this one, you're running around the streets of London, I was like, it just boring. That was all. That's my only biggest note.
I don't have a lot of notes on this video. I thought it was very cut and dry. I didn't concoct a story about a former porn star, and I don't know what Quentin Tarantino.
I don't know what the fuck she was doing watching. Like, she's there, like it's like she's watching. If it's him, she's watching.
She's probably thinking of that's what he's doing now. He's probably making out with some chick on a couch now on TV.
The only thing
I'm here all depressed in my empty.
I would agree that this was probably the most dated video out of the selections, because if they were on each other's Instagram, they would not have this issue. She would know what he's up to. He'd be posting. It felt like I was watching Amores Perros a little bit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that movie.
You had to go the Latin route. You had to go the fucking Latin route. I knew it.
It's a great video. I just don't think it feels like they're in the same apartment complex. They're getting ready for dinner. I think, I don't know about if you agree with this, Lindy, but I just think the acting, the passion wasn't there. It was just, I don't know. They just weren't doing it for me as far as the emotion and the passion.
Agree. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
It's just because you've never missed somebody like the desert missed the rain, Randy. That's what
But I do have somebody who's full of emotion. Now we're coming to my selection. I selected Celine Dion. It's all coming back to me now. And I did not select this because our guests are Canadian. I promise you that. So if this video looks familiar and sounds familiar, It was one of the many power ballads written by Jim Steinman, who wrote songs like Total Eclipse of the Heart. God rest his soul. He just passed away this year. And I Will Do Anything for Love by Meatloaf. Meatloaf actually wanted to do this song, but Steinman was very protective of his music and wanted a woman to do it. Essentially, he told Meatloaf, maybe we should get somebody a little more pleasing to the eye, is what I heard. I don't know.
I won't do that. I won't do that.
He wouldn't do that. He covers it a lot in his concerts. It's got the Wuthering Heights feel, but it comes across as very Disney. It's the videos. These videos are never good. The premise is simple. Celine Dion's husband, gets on a motorcycle and has the worst choreographed crash in the history of music. It looks like a Sam Raimi Evil Dead, a video. This looked like, the guy crashes 2 blocks away and gets sucked into a tree that was struck down by lightning. How are we to mourn this? And I think Celine Dion's guilty, because here's my theory. I think they just had like awesome sex, and she's like, you know what? I could go for like a McFlurry or a Shamrock Shake. And she sends this guy in the monsoon, in the torrential rain, say, go get me some post-coital ice cream. And this guy crashes. That's why she's so guilty. That's my theory. It's not the deep dive as the porn star in the previous video, but that's what I'm going with.
Now, is this the short video or the 7.5 minute video?
The 7.5 minute video.
Because then he gives her that brush or whatever gift in the that made no sense.
Yeah,
maybe
that was
a
memory. Yeah. That was a memory.
Oh, that was a memory. Yes.
Remembering when he was. That's why she was brushing her hair at the beginning. Trust me, I have seen this video thousands of times. It's one of my favorites.
Do they have Shamrock Shakes in Canada?
We do. Only on St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just asking. You say McFlurry?
Judging by the rain, it was March. Come on, bro. All right. So here's my main issue. I felt like the guy in the video was really handsome, and the fact that if you saw Celine Dion's husband, who's 26-year-old Renee, how do you say this last name? Angelil. So I think Renee Angelil, who was very protective. He was Celine Dion's manager, probably came up with a lot of premises, concerts, etc. I'm sure he looked at the director and told him, hey, maybe the premise of this video should be a slightly older, a silver fox riding his bike, and he has his high cholesterol levels. Maybe he's very self-conscious, but he's very handsome in a great uncle way. And maybe he's riding his bike and he has a heart attack, and then Celine Dion mourns him. But the director said, fuck that. We're getting the fucking handsomest guy we could find and make you feel like shit that your wife's making out with him in the video. So I felt bad. Celine Dion is just a horrible actress, amazing singer, but I don't think she quite caught the feel of this video. It's very over the top. She's trying to convey that she misses this guy, but all her memories are of him on a damn motorcycle or of him like having sex. Like, do we know this guy could have been like a master welder? He could have been a great fisherman, but we don't know this because every memory is of this guy seducing her. I'm like, she doesn't have any memories of him like bringing home like a trophy fish or like buying a new truck. This is all about him seducing her. I don't get it. Bad special effects. To me, this was an opportunity for Celine Dion to roll around with this good looking dude. I feel bad for Renee, going back to him. And if I was Renee, I would tell Celine Dion that, hey, our marriage is over because you were just too into this video. And lastly, I just think that the memories were just of all like what happened the 4 minutes prior. It didn't really dive deep enough for me. And I felt like you guys posted, I'm talking to Steffi and Lindy, you guys posted a video of Celine Dion where, could you tell me the meme? Because it was really funny, but I forgot what it was.
Which one was, it was something like when you're at something about at the bar or something. And it's, I think a drink you don't want to have it, or you got too drunk off of something and you can't drink it anymore. Cause I put mine as polar bears.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's what it was. It just, all her memories were of this guy, and but it was, and this is ageism. It's a bad story. It's just, I don't know. I'm just fed up with this video. I'm never going to watch. And the most embarrassing part was I was watching this video in the office. We were shutting down. I was like, I'm going to play this video to take some more notes. And one of my coworkers said, I didn't know you were into Celine Dion. I was like, no. This is for research. Yeah, sure it is. So I'm not a fan of this video. What are y'all's thoughts of this video? I'm sweating under my cap.
I will say, I think that these, yes, it was very, it reminded me of Total Eclipse, like you mentioned, clearly. The feel is there, but I will say these over theatrical videos of the 90s, and this includes November Rain, they gotta stop. They had to stop back then.
You leave November Rain alone.
I disagree. Strongly disagree. You lost out all of us on that one.
They're epic. I want to be a movie music videos. They are a staple of our childhood. How dare you? Continue.
Just offended a whole nation. Go ahead.
Hey, what now? To me, it's too much. Like, I guess if I want to go look, how we mentioned earlier about the attention span of today's generation. My attention span back then was I want to hear the music and I just want to like get to it. Granted, this there's not any like as far as just the beginning and the very long one, which I actually just saw the other day because I was like, wait a minute, there's a uncut theatrical director's cut version, and I had to watch that one. So I know there's that whole the crash scene and everything. I just prefer to listen to the music, get to the music, and if the video is crappy, well then so be it. If the song is good, it's clearly I don't have an issue with the song. It's not it's not something I don't really listen to Celine Dion, but I mean she's clearly a talent. That voice you don't mimic, and there's like certain vocalists that you're really not supposed to try to do karaoke and things like that. And I think Celine Dion is on that list. Like, don't try to pull that shit off. It's not gonna happen.
So you're in love with her, basically.
No. So
in the world. Yes.
But it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I didn't see the things that registered in your head about it. I didn't see that. I mean, it's love lost. I mean, she's missing, hey, I'm sorry, is she only thinking about the times that they made love? It must have been pretty damn good, I guess.
I would say
but it's over now.
God forbid.
But it's all over now.
God forbid, if I lost my wife, I'm going to remember like the breakfast taco she made and, the time where she picked the right cereal. I'm not just going to remember one thing. And I think she's like, very focused on the good sex that they had. Right?
But it's the video.
Maybe you just never had that kind of epic sex like Celine Dion offers, Rand.
It's the song. It's the song's lyrics. I honestly thought that it went with the song. It went with the song. She, I didn't see anything too crazy about it. Except for the over theatrical stuff, which I'm not into. And so that's really my own take from it. I don't see it as too like horrible. I really don't. It's the total eclipse thing. So, but that's my take. I mean, I didn't think it was too outlandish as far as like, oh, it's just horrible. Bob?
Well, first off,
anybody?
I can't think of I can't see Celine Dion without thinking of Anna Gaston and SNL. That's just Steph nailed it. I can't take her seriously anymore. Once Anna Gaston did that her little version of her on SNL, like I can't take her seriously. It was, like you said, the same director, but it was a complete ripoff of Total Eclipse of the Heart. Same kind of premise. The lead singer, female singer, is in love with some young dude. It's probably not ironic that the young dude died. I bet you in the original video he wasn't supposed to, but her 90-year-old husband made that shit happen, bro. That's what it was.
Kill him in 2 minutes. I am Renee.
It's like I said, it's a cheesy love video, but I mean, it's not. I can't say it's the worst. I think maybe you're thinking of maybe the premise of the song, but the videos, I mean, it's typical. It's a typical love video. You can't tell me that Celine Dion making out with some 22-year-old while her 90-year-old husband watches is worse than fucking Vanilla Ice doing the Charleston on top of a telephone booth. There's no way you can tell me that's worse.
And at least this one has a plot, whereas, My Heart Will Go On, she's just standing in front of a background where they put in Titanic scenes.
Like, whatever. She didn't even want to do that song anyway, so true. I would have done the minimal as well.
But she's the greatest singer in the world.
It's good. Like she did that when she recorded My Heart Will Go On, it was one take, and that was what you have. She wasn't even supposed to do it.
All you need.
I didn't know that.
All you need when you have Celine Dion.
It wasn't even her. She was actually recording it to show to someone else to possibly record it. And then they're like, "You just did such a great job. We can't not.
Yeah, we're gonna release it."
She's very theatrical when she sings. I think we had this debate a couple of weeks ago. Randy was jumping all over me about Whitney Houston. How she was. I think if there's two people that sing in front of the mirror to themselves, it's Whitney Houston and it's Celine Dion in this song that they love to sing themselves in front of a mirror.
I have a funny thing about your Whitney Houston there. I was watching Futurama last night and Leela sings, Whitney Houston to the people or whatever. And even so, year 3000, that song is still notable.
Yes. There you go. So, I won that one.
It has its longevity.
Best cover song.
What was the topic of that one?
Best cover song.
Oh, best cover song.
Oh, yeah. She should have covered the mirror when she was singing in front of it.
What about Steffi, Linda? You guys got any other additional?
Oh, I have a few little fun notes. So about your Meatloaf, he actually did cover it in 2006 with Marion Raven.
Right.
And I was telling Lindy before it actually, because she was like, "Oh, I wish he did," and I was like, "He did actually." And then, yep. And then another thing, Tony Braxton, if you remember, "Unbreak My Heart" was actually a very similar video that came out at this time, and it wasn't as theatrical or maybe as cheesy, or they just came and approached it a different way.
She was wearing in like a tight onesie white thing. That's
the
what
white,
it was.
yeah, with the cutout thing on it. Yes,
different 90s cliches.
Different 90s cliches. I always felt like that guy though looked like a Bryan Adams lookalike.
Yeah, he did.
My whole entire growing up, I always thought it was Brian, which I thought was funny because Bryan Adams Canadian, Celine Dion Canadian. The one in the Celine Dion video. Yeah, the one in the Celine Dion video. And then this was a funny thing I was telling Lindy also before. For some reason, when she's doing like the running down the hall, nights of endless pleasure, and then she does the turning around and like stands and does her like, like that part. I just for some reason always remembered that scene. Like she was like turning around and taking a stance, like she was just ready to like belt or something. It was those were my
being dramatic. No way.
Right, never.
I absolutely love this video. I don't know. I when I was younger, I had a thing for epic videos like Meatloaf and like a prayer for, like by Madonna.
Yes, that was
so good.
Love movie type like November Rain, one of my favorites. But I don't know. The spinning mirrors of memory could have done without that.
That was a weird scene.
That's true. Yeah, that's very Disney. You know, I just found out. Go ahead.
But no, it was very classic 90s. Like it had the mansion silhouette with the thunderstorm in the background. It had like the sheer curtains blowing in the wind, the long stick candles, the 4-poster bed. Like
it was Beauty and the
typical
Beast.
90s.
It was Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
But
the beauty was the guy in this one.
I didn't find him beautiful. I'm sorry.
We're talking about her 90-year-old husband. Beautiful.
Oh, him either. Sorry, Renee.
I just think, I just found out in I Will Do Anything for Love that wasn't the singer, the female, her voice was dubbed. I didn't know that.
Professional lip singer.
I did not know that. I thought she was like amazing. I was like, she's beautiful and she's got this amazing voice. And I just found out doing research on this video that wasn't the singer for I Will Do Anything for Love. Gosh, I was so disappointed.
But I won't do that.
So let me ask,
that is, right?
I'm thinking if we're talking more about Betamax and making out on the couch, it's probably along those lines.
Let me ask you all a question.
I could be inappropriate. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It'll
before Netflix and chill.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to ask you all something. Are the 90s a better music video era than the 80s? What are your thoughts about that? Did we have better music videos?
No.
Bigger budgets, maybe.
Yes. Well, I think that's what made the 80s so great, that they were all fucking cheesy and over the top and extremely low budget. And they were it was all glam and big hair and makeup and cocaine, like we talked about. Like the 90s, it seemed like everybody was trying to look cool. In the 80s, nobody gave a fuck. So it made those videos, I think it made the videos a lot better.
Yeah, I think in the 90s, all the artists were trying to one-up each other with every video, or they're trying to up themselves with their last singles. And like it is today, how sometimes I can't distinguish one artist from another today.
Well, yeah.
I can imagine how my parents felt back then with having half the amount of artists to choose from.
Did you see the T-Pain rant about the rappers out right now? He was like, there's a baby, a da baby, a little baby, and they're all doing the same damn thing. They're doing the same thing with the same name. How can people tell you apart nowadays?
That's a great point. That
doesn't make sense.
Because T-Pain stands out with that damn his voice or whatever he uses.
The auto-tune.
Auto-tune. Fucking hate that.
Those are some great songs.
That was prime 2004 bar years. Come on.
Yes. Spring break, Joseph.
I think I think we do. I think we do have better videos. I think if there's more iconic 90s videos than there are 80s. Granted,
I don't know.
Yes, the budgets, like that's been mentioned, the budgets were there, and maybe we had some celebrity cameos in some videos, whether they were bad or good. The two that we mentioned today were bad. Were mine being lit, as the honorable mention, with Pam Anderson and Bob. I think you mentioned Michael Jackson and I actually did that song together, so it's not really
terrible.
It's not a cameo. But I think because I mean, come on, look at like what's one of the most iconic 90s videos that you can think of, like, and it's probably for me, it's like Smells Like Teen Spirit. It's Scream. It's Scream by
that's 2000 by
it's 2000. Feels like just yesterday.
Wild Wild West, Will Smith.
Oh, that was a bad one too.
Terrible.
But I think we do have better videos and possibly
Better
worse.
music, yes. Better videos, no.
Mhm.
That I can agree with.
I am happy that nobody mentioned Snow Informer.
I
That's
thought that video was bad.
He was like number 4 of my honorable mentions.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody said him, and I was like, those are some fighting words. I'm gonna say I like the song. I love that album. I do. I do. I love that album, and I the video to me is, hey, if I love the song so much, you can't tell me the video is bad. So.
One of the ones that we saw, we talked about a little bit yesterday, was Black Hole Sun. That was on the list of a lot of people's bad videos. And
I did not like that. I did not like that video.
I love that song though, so it kind of like it's kind of a hard balance, I guess. I guess the video was kind of maybe off-putting a little bit, but
once I rewatched that one, I was just like, okay, it is really weird. Like the weird mouths open and I don't know. It was just they were weird.
I also didn't like. I like the song, but the video I did not like is "Bad Touch" by the Bloodhound Gang.
Oh,
I did think of that one. Yeah,
the song is fucking awesome.
It's a great song. It's a great song. The video just has a lot left to be desired.
Oh yeah, but it's all laughable. It's all satire, I guess you could say. But that song was cool back in the day.
So
I still know all the words.
Yeah,
who doesn't?
Yes.
Or the little you could do. I guess.
I'm kind of embarrassed.
no,
As you should be.
it's a good song.
Lindy, they also do have Foxtrot, Unicorn, Charlie Kilo, and we still know that one.
That's a
still know all the words to that one.
I'm gonna have to add that to my Spotify.
So why do y'all think we romanticize this era so much? And we talked about this a little bit at the beginning about this current generation sort of missing out. But what was it about the music video era that we go back to and that we love so much and that we sort of die on the sword for that doesn't captivate the current generation?
It's because of, well, for me, it's the music. I'm a big fan of the music. I'm a big fan of music today as well. I loved it's what I mentioned earlier in the beginning. I loved to I can sit down and watch music videos. Those were happy times to me. I didn't need, yes, you got to go out and get some sun every now and then and whatnot, but I could sit and in front of the TV and what was exciting for me was just be able to hear music that I maybe hadn't heard. It's really kind of like and maybe I'll tell the story another time, but it's kind of like how I got into Metallica late, I know I didn't hear them in the 80s, but it was the 90s. I saw a Metallica video and I was like, what is this? This is awesome. And then I, went down that whole rabbit hole and now I'm the fan that I am today. For me, that's what I loved about it. Being able to discover music through artists, through the visual. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the visual, if the visual didn't match, but the song was good, I don't think it affected my choice on whether I wanted to listen to it or wanted to pursue, finding out more about them or buying a CD. The thought of, going and buying that CD, that's why, for me, that's what it is.
I think it's just, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I think a big part of it was because when you're comparing our generation to like today's generation, they have so much to distract them on their cell phones and their laptops and everything. For us, we didn't have any of that. Like even like before internet was really normalized, like 97, like videos were our escape. I think for me, it was my escape and like from my reality. Like I could just dive into like these 5-minute worlds every few minutes and just enjoy something that wasn't, my own world, that with my own problems and things like that.
Very much.
I can remember. Media. Yeah. I can remember being up all night in high school and every night, especially in the summer, staying up all night and just having it on MTV and watching music videos all night, watching Popular. Remember who sang Popular, Joseph? Remember that?
Not a surf.
Yes. Popular and Sex and Candy and and Garbage and just watching new music videos and learning about new artists and like getting into bands and being like you said, I think when you get the visual with the band, you're like, oh, these people seem interesting. I should look them up. I should check them out. I should check out their other stuff. I remember loving that. That's what I did throughout high school and even at the start of college until MTV went its other route, right, took a left turn. It's part of our growing up and our little nostalgia that we had, and it was part of our upbringing. So I think that's why we have that close connection to it. That's why we really hang on to it. I mean, every Saturday night I'm outside in my backyard either barbecuing or having a beer, and Josie usually comes over and we listen to music. If there's a fight on, we watch that. If there's something going on, cool. But we always listen to music. And most of the time I have YouTube on and it's just
that's where we hear music videos.
80s music videos or 70s music videos. And that's what we do all night. We drink and we're like watch and listen and you know, get drunk and sing along, right? But I think it's just a part of our upbringing, and it just brings back that nostalgia. Music videos are kind of
real quick. I just wanted to say, isn't it like when YouTube first came out, I didn't think much of it. I thought it was just something for, people to post videos of stupid stuff, maybe themselves, whatever. Now it's like my place to watch music videos and listen to music. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, not as far as like listening all day. We have the streaming services, but it's like what Bob mentioned. We'll throw on 87 video playlist of 90s, whatever on YouTube. And that's where we're hearing our music videos. That's where we're watching them now. And I love YouTube because of that. I didn't care for it when it came out, but now it's where I'm listening to my music videos, whether they're bad, good, weird, crazy, 80s, 90s, new. That's where it is. Thank YouTube.
Yep.
Never thought I'd say that.
Right. Yeah. YouTube is, I'm same thing. Before, once videos were gone, I was like, what do I do? So for probably a good 8 years, I didn't watch videos. And then I met my partner. I didn't really have a smartphone or anything or smart TV to watch YouTube at home. Mm-hmm. He got me the Google Chromecast, put music on, and I was like, oh, this has opened up a whole new world for me. And I was so happy that I could just not sit there like this and watch music videos, because this is so annoying when you're on your phone just trying to watch it. You could just put it on in the background, let it play while you're, doing laundry or cleaning the house or something. And then you just reminisce about those old times and you're like, oh, I forgot about this video. Because sometimes something comes up and you're like, I didn't even remember this song. Oh my gosh. Like, because it does the autoplays and the algorithms, and it's awesome. Fun to rediscover again almost.
Don't ever send them out to get you a McFlurry during a rainstorm, by the way, okay? You don't know.
Shamrock Shake, sir. Shamrock Shake.
What are some of the other things? Is there a particular memory about 90s music videos that y'all want to share to close it out? Anything that you want to just discuss in terms of your experiences growing up watching 90s music videos and being captured by this culture?
I've said it before. We, like, and Randy mentioned, we would go to his house. Randy, back in the days when he got his new boombox, and he got Nirvana's Nevermind album, and he put that on, and we listened to that whole thing. A CD, play CDs. It's a CD player. He put that on while we were playing video games. We didn't listen to the audio of the video games. He put that whole CD on, and we listened to it. And it just blew my mind. I was immediately hooked. And when we with the opening, riff to "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and then later going and seeing the visual to this song that I had already in my head, like, this song is awesome, I love it. Going and watching the video and being like, this video is freaking awesome. It's exactly what I pictured. It's the the moshing, the high school like angst, grunge. It was so perfect. That's, as far as music, like, that's always going to be one of my favorite music videos of all time, because it coincided with learning a particular genre and pretty much putting me on this, because I can honestly say music wasn't like a big thing for me back then. I just listened to music, whatever music was on. But hearing that and then just going on and to discover my own, particular taste as far as music, it all goes back to that, and seeing that video and the song together.
So Joseph, I was kind of like the older sister on Almost Famous when she introduced him to all those Led Zeppelin albums. I kind of did that for you.
I guess. No, I thank you, because you put that on, dude. I mean, really.
Thank you.
Are you talking about the lipstick or the?
But anybody else want to share maybe a memory or their favorite moments growing up watching music videos in the 90s?
I almost feel like, not with the music videos, right, but kind of the sentiment, because I had an older cousin also that was a little bit of a Gen Xer, and she was the same thing. Like, she gave us influences of different things. And I remember the first kind of rock album I had was actually Clumsy by Our Lady Peas.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. If you ever want to get drunk and cry, that's the fucking album to listen to.
It's a great album. And I just remember, like, we were driving somewhere in the car, and then Carnival came on. And as like a kid who's still listening to pop, I was like, ooh, this is kind of fun. And then the video, like, I remember watching it and I was like, this is kind of a little weird. But then that was sort of, that's when I think I really started to watch Hit List. And then Hit List actually wasn't all poppy. It was a mix of everything. So that's when I really started to shy away from pop and move into a little more rock. They'd play some Tragically Hip on there. They'd play, Moist, the Canadian artist, I guess, at that time. And I feel like, just music videos really, like I said, helped to broaden your horizon, because also much music would play video flow. And it was 2 hours of all types of music, not just all pop, all this. They'd play
Exactly.
two Backstreet Boys in with, say, you know, a Metallica or something. And then also without music videos,
Awesome.
I would not have smooth dance moves because that's where I learned all the Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls dance moves. What?
Ditto.
It's funny how you think the music. I think Jack Daniels. That's the only why I have good dance moves.
Let me wrap up with this question. Which band, if you saw their video on in the 90s on MTV Much Music, would stop you dead in your tracks and say, I got to watch this video because this band always brought out the best videos?
Hanson and think Britney, because I was the biggest teeny bopper of life. And any pop song came on, I was watching. Hanson was my very first concert with Steph and Danielle at the Molson Canadian Amphitheater.
Nice.
At Ontario Place. I know you guys don't know that place.
It was not my first
whatever. But no, I was in love with Hanson. I was obsessed with them. So yeah, any Hanson video.
Hanson, gotcha.
They had more than Mbop?
Stopped dead in my tracks. Yes, they had several.
I know. I was just teasing.
I will come to
They have
you.
their own beer. They have their own beer. It's called Green
Really?
Hops.
Really?
Yeah.
I will drink that. I will have
you
to
go.
find that, dude. I will have to find that.
And after a few, you're gone. There you go. Anybody else?
Yes.
Yes, horrible dad joke. Steffi, what about you? What music artists always stopped you dead in your tracks? Always put up good videos.
I feel like it was probably the same. I was a teeny bopper. However, the one video that it stopped that I loved that I would never not watch when it came on was the Christopher Walken flying around in
Yes.
Oh, yes,
Fat
You
Boy
want to go with
Slim.
this? You
I know it was
That
too.
video.
I know it was 2000, so it's not technically 90s, but that one, whenever it came on, I had to always watch it. I always
It was
had to.
great.
It's great.
For me, I would say it was Until It Sleeps by Metallica, because it was when I first saw it, I had never seen it, and if I don't know if you're familiar with it, the video is it's kind of a weird artsy dark take on like Adam and Eve type stuff, and I think because of that, it didn't really get the play at the airtime on MTV so much. So when it did come on, and when I saw it for the first time, because that is probably one of my favorite songs from that album, I was like, whoa, this is awesome, this is crazy. I was really into it. It's so like trippy and whatnot. So when I would see it, because like I said, it was rare that it would come on, I was like, no, I gotta watch this video. And I would actually, and this is one of those ones that I was trying to like, you know, I was there ready to record. No, okay, it's not it. You know, so but if I saw it, I was hitting record because it was such a trippy, awesome video, and I loved it. And I didn't see it very often. So for me, I had to stop and watch that one.
What about you, Bob?
I mean, there's a lot. I have to agree with like the I guess the harder rock type of stuff. The Metallica's staying up at night to catch one of their songs. The Stone Temple Pilots, which is my favorite band growing up.
Yeah,
they had cool videos. I used to stay up and watch. I fucking love those guys. And Sour Girl was a great video. Tripping in a Hole was a great video. Vaseline. I used to wait for that. But being in high school, I remember the Not a Surf video used to come up.
Oh, that was a
lot.
great
And-
video.
Love
And I used to
that.
love
Yeah.
watching
So
that.
good.
That's
that
a great
one-
karaoke song because you can do the reading or you could do the singing.
And The Way by Fastball. I used to watch those religiously when they'd come on. Those are like two videos that really remind me of staying up late and watching MTV and music videos. What do you got, Lindsay?
Teenage
Sorry,
Dirtbag.
I forgot
Oh, yeah.
one.
Easter Bag.
Rock DJ by Robbie Williams.
Yes, that
I
one is
have
there
so
you
to
go.
watch
good.
that video. I
So
have
good.
to. Sorry.
Love it.
He strips off his skin like just
You know,
fantastic video.
Yeah,
he's
so good.
he's actually
He's the guy that sings Millennium?
yeah,
Yep,
and
yes.
that video was so huge, and that song was huge.
Angel,
like
I
that
think too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that
What
guy.
wasn't it? Not She Talks to Angels. That was the Black Rose. He sang some Angels song, which was really good. It was covered by Jessica.
He sang
Simpson.
Rockabye. Terrible. No, I'm just kidding.
No. But anyway, I used to love the Smashing Pumpkins videos. I always thought they were very creative.
Yes.
I
Ava
like
Adore was really good.
Tonight.
tonight. They had great
It's my
videos.
favorite music video.
It's
of all
not.
time.
It's not.
So
It's not.
So awesome.
It's not the
I
best
still like
90s song, but
1979.
You're going back.
you know what song I really enjoyed watching? Tracy Bonham, Mother. I don't know if you guys remember that video. Tracy Bonham, Mother. Check it out.
Sing it. Sing it.
I'm not going to sing it. You know, but
What year was this?
It was in the 90s. So I thought she was going to have a much bigger career than she had, but
So it wasn't
What's the song
Danzig
called?
Mother.
not Danzig Mother. But,
Oh, that was-
Tracy
that
What
would've
was
been
the
better
song
choice.
called?
It was called Mother by Tracy
Mother.
Bonham, Bonham. Check it out. It was
I
a
will.
great alt cut, a great video too. I used to love it. But that is our show, everybody. Listeners, we'd love to hear from you. What is your least favorite 90s music video? What songs did we not mention, or videos, I should say? And most importantly, let us know what you think about the show. You may reach us at formidableopponents@gmail.com and follow us on Twitter at @fopponents. And join us next week as we argue the best movie villain slash. What are we doing, Bob? Best
slasher. It's best slasher movie villain.
Best slasher movie villain. But
Yes.
before we go, Steffi and Lindy, plug your show. Tell us what you guys got coming up.
So we're Turn of the Millennials. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of the things, basically at Turn of the Millennials. You can email us at Turn of the Millennials podcast, but I put one N in millennials on our email.
I misspell it all the time.
Right? At gmail.com. And yeah, I think other than that, we've just got a couple episodes coming up, and you can find us on Spotify or everywhere. I think that.
Everywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, mostly everywhere now, I think.
Cool.
We're almost everywhere.
Let us know when you guys want to do like a deep dive into like music and all kinds of shit, and we'll go back and forth on a particular on Celine Dion or
How about
if there's a topic you guys want as well.
talk about drunken nights.
Come on.
So I thought about something. How about we run this back and get together again for best 90s music video?
Yeah,
You guys
I'm
down?
down
That'd be
for
cool.
that.
That'd be great.
Cool. We do that. So for Steffi, Lindy, Joseph, and Bob, I'm Randall. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great day.
Oh, bye.
Thanks for having us.
Somebody say something asinine at the end.
There you go.
The greatest singer in the world. There you go.
Greatest singer in the world.
It's a Au revoir.